Well, I think the thing that I'm really quite gratified about is helping to change the discussion point about accessibility. When I came into office, I thought it was going to be really focusing on helping people achieve their full potential. That was my definition of accessibility, that it was more than curb cuts and ramps and wheelchair parking spots. But as I started to meet with the different groups and organizations and traveling across the province, the number one topic that they wanted to talk about was the high unemployment rate for people with disabilities, which is touching 50% at any given time. Certainly one of the most memorable moments was meeting the Queen at Buckingham Palace in October of 2008. And it's something that each Lieutenant Governor and each Governor General gets to do once in their term. No matter how many times they tried to tell us not to be nervous, my wife Ruth Ann and myself, of course, were nervous. The vast majority of people's perception, we have this image of the Queen as being this very friendly person, and she is. And she's very knowledgeable and very, very engaging in conversation. So it was certainly an experience that neither of us will ever forget. She was wearing a diamond maple leaf brooch, and we had been told from the outset that she would be the one that would initiate the conversation. But Ruth was so impressed by the brooch, she just started off herself saying, "Your Majesty, what a beautiful diamond maple leaf." And the Queen then and Ruth Ann just got into quite the side conversation, and she said that it had belonged to her mother and that it was one of her mother's favorite brooches. And all of a sudden, Ruth and the Queen were talking about brooches, and I felt, what am I doing here for a moment or two? The Lieutenant Governor is the head of government, is the constitutional referee, if you will, and ultimately provides a safeguard against excess and abuse of the democratic system. And there are all sorts of other systems in the world that are democratic but in name only, and others where the rights and freedoms that we have get easily trampled. And you don't have to look very far these days to see where some of those abuses are occurring.